Memorial Hospital had a strict policy about unauthorized overtime. No exceptions, no matter the circumstances. On this Tuesday evening, Sarah Chen, a nurse with 12 years of experience, was supposed to clock out at 7. It was now 9:30, and she was still in room 412, tending to Thomas Garrett, a 72-year-old veteran with pneumonia and complications from old shrapnel wounds. Thomas had no family, no visitors, and according to hospital administration, no insurance beyond basic Medicare. He was labeled a financial liability deserving only essential care. But Sarah had seen his medical records. Vietnam service during the worst years. A Silver Star, Purple Heart with 2 clusters. This was a man who'd given everything for his country, now lying alone, struggling to breathe, with no one to advocate for his care. She'd stayed past her shift to monitor his vitals, to sit with him during fever-induced confusion when he thought he was back in the jungle. She'd used her own money to buy him decent food. She'd called in favors for better pain medication, and she'd done it knowing she was violating policy. At 9:45, night supervisor Margaret Ross found her. "Nurse Chen, you were supposed to clock out 2.5 hours ago. You're in unauthorized overtime." Sarah looked up from adjusting Thomas's 4. Mr. Garrett needed care. "The evening shift is understaffed." Margaret's expression was cold. "That's not your concern. Hospital policy is clear. You're suspended, effective immediately." 2 weeks without pay. The words hit Sarah hard. 2 weeks without pay meant struggling with rent, with her daughter's school expenses. But looking at Thomas sleeping peacefully for the first time in days, she knew she'd do it again. What happened next would not only change Sarah E's life but expose something broken in a system that had forgotten what service really means. If you've ever wondered whether doing the right thing matters, stay with this story. Sarah gathered her things, approached Thomas one last time. He opened his eyes, foggy but aware. "Thank you, nurse. You remind me of my daughter. She was a nurse too. Died 10 years ago." Sarah felt tears prick her eyes. "You get better, Mr. Garrett. Promise me." She left at 10, suspended but somehow at peace. What Sarah didn't know was that Thomas had made a phone call earlier that day. He'd called a number memorized decades ago, belonging to the man who'd saved his life in Vietnam, who'd carried him 3 miles through enemy territory with a bullet in his own leg. That man was General Marcus Stone, 4-star general, recently retired, still one of the most respected military leaders in the country. At 6 the next morning, a convoy of black SUVs pulled up to Memorial Hospital. General Stone, in full dress uniform, walked through the entrance flanked by 2 colonels and a VA hospital inspector. "I need to see your administrator immediately," he said, his voice carrying absolute authority. "And the personnel file of Nurse Sarah Chen." Within minutes, Margaret Ross and Administrator David Hutchins were in a conference room facing the general. "I'm here about Thomas Garrett, patient in room 412, and the nurse you suspended for providing adequate care to a decorated war hero." David tried to maintain composure. "General, with respect, this is a hospital matter. We have budget constraints and policies." General Stone placed a folder on the table. "This is Thomas Garrett's service record. 3 tours in Vietnam, Silver Star for Valor, Purple Heart with 2 clusters. He held a position for 6 hours while his unit evacuated wounded. He's a genuine American hero, and your hospital treated him like he was disposable." Margaret spoke defensively. "We provided standard care per Medicare guidelines." The general's voice dropped dangerously. "Thomas called me yesterday. One nurse, Sarah Chen, was the only person who treated him like a human being, who stayed past her shift, used her own money, fought for better medication. And you suspended her for it. This is the moment where everything changes. Keep watching, because justice is about to be served." David paled. "We didn't know his service record. We didn't know he was connected to you, General." General Stone stood, his frame seeming to fill the room. "And that's exactly the problem. You shouldn't need to know. Every veteran deserves respect and quality care, whether they know a general or not, whether they have perfect insurance or not." He gestured to the VA inspector. "Dr. Martinez will conduct a full investigation of your veteran care protocols. The Department of Veterans Affairs will review your federal funding, which accounts for about 30% of your revenue." David looked sick. "General, please, we'll reinstate Nurse Chen immediately. Full back pay. You'll do more," General Stone said. "You'll issue a formal apology. You'll promote her with a raise. You'll establish a veteran care program with proper funding, named after Thomas Garrett. You'll implement mandatory training on veteran recognition. And if I ever hear about a veteran being mistreated here again, I'll ensure every media platform knows how this hospital treats those who served." 3 hours later, Sarah received a call from David Hutchins, his voice shaking. "Nurse Chen, please come to the hospital immediately. It's important." Sarah rushed there, fearing the worst. She was escorted to the conference room. When the door opened, she saw General Stone in uniform and Thomas in a wheelchair, smiling. "Nurse Chen, I'm Marcus Stone. Tommy is an old friend. He told me what you did, what it cost you." David stepped forward. "Nurse Chen, we apologize. Your suspension is lifted. You're promoted to head of our new Veterans Care program with a significant raise, named after Mr. Garrett." Thomas took Sarah's hand. "You treated me like I mattered, like I was someone's father, someone's friend, not just a budget problem." "Thank you." Sarah felt tears streaming. "I just did what was right." General Stone smiled. "That's exactly why you're perfect to lead this program, because you understand that caring for those who served is its own form of service." The story spread through the city. News outlets picked it up. But more importantly, it started conversations about how hospitals treat veterans, about balancing budgets with humanity. Thomas recovered and became a hospital volunteer, visiting other veterans. Sarah's program became a model copied nationwide. And General Stone made veteran healthcare advocacy his retirement project. This story isn't just about a nurse who got suspended or a general who fixed things. It's about remembering that policies should never override humanity, that the measure of society is how it treats those who've sacrificed for it, that doing the right thing has a cost but also a value beyond calculation. If this reminded you that healthcare is about caring, not profits, share it. If it showed you one person can change a system, pass it on. The world needs more people who choose compassion over convenience. Thank you for listening, and remember, the right thing is still right, even when it costs everything.